Okay, this is Poison Ivy's personal journal from Arkham Asylum. So we take the paper off, and the first thing we see is her drawing of a plant. I'm going to read to you from her journal. Arkham Asylum, September 1st. That new shrink from New York, Dr. Quinzel, asked to let me have some of my personal effects, including this old journal Mother gave to me when I was a teenager that I never used. They wouldn't let me have my plants. Quinzel thought it should let me work on the garden here at Arkham, as long as it's supervised, which is a relief. The place is a disaster. All woods haphazardly planted with no anesthetics, no beauty, no thought to what would we need to lift alone and what would need to be cultivated. I'm here because of Batman. When I get out, he'll be the first I take revenge on. Well, maybe not the first. There are so many others. The guards here, the cops who booked me, this assistant district attorney who had me committed, the so-called doctors at the pathetic excuse for an asylum. Except for Quinzel, I like her. She seems to actually understand me, or at the very least, she's better at faking understanding me than everyone else. But definitely Bruce Wayne. If it weren't for him, I'd be working for Wayne Industries, and he'd just listen to me. I wouldn't have become Poison Ivy. Maybe I should have thanked him for that. Pam Isley was always somebody's victim, starting with Daddy. But he's in prison now. I'm my own woman, but I'm not free. At least not yet. Someday soon, though, I'll be out of this cage, fulfilled with donkeys and crocodiles and penguins and felons, and I'll deal with everyone who interfered, including both Wayne and Batman. Just you wait. Gravella's warehouse, abandoned, September 30th. I had a grand plan of escape. I managed to combine seeds from several plants in the garden to create a fast-growing hybrid that would cover my departure, but it turned out to be unnecessary because the Joker managed an escape on his own. Looks like Quinzel either helped him or was his hostage. It's hard to say, and ultimately it doesn't matter, as several of us were able to follow him out the door before the guards could get their act together. She's got a drawing here of Joker, Penguin, herself, and Killer Croc. It looks like our Clayface. It's hard to tell from the picture. She's got pretty good artistic skills. I'm getting ready for my revenge, but I'll need resources. Luckily, there are tons of warehouses on the East End that have been abandoned, thanks to the chemical spills a few years back. Since I'm immune to the fumes from the toxic sewage that now makes up the warehouse backyard, I can stay here with impunity until I steal enough to enact my plan. The next step is to break into Natural History Museum. Corvella's warehouse, October 15th. It's perfect. I've got everything I need, and those thunderheads in the GCPD are none of the wiser. The advantages of using this biodegradable tools like plants to break and enter is that they leave very little evidence behind. I also use different entrances each time. The basement access to the Natural History Museum, the skylight of the Home Goods store, and the side of Gotham Sporting Goods, and space them out by a few weeks, even if they're unlikely event that someone's looking for a pattern. They're not very likely to find one. With luck, nobody will ever know these robberies are related, and how I have everything I need for my garden. Okay. Cornella's warehouse, November 11th. Who knew that Batman was more than just an ugly costume and insane combat skills? Turns out there's actually a brain lurking under that pointed ears. This tainted monkeys the GCPD has in its detective squad. Didn't have a clue for what I've been doing, but Batman actually figured it out. Put it together that I robbed those places and figured out that one could make with what I stole a lethal garden. Of course, just because the big boy figured it out doesn't mean he'll be able to do anything about it. And my vines can hold 10 big, strong men, much less one in a bat suit. So Batman is currently locked in the barrel at the bottom of the toxic waste molasses behind the warehouse, and now I'm free to tear down the eyesore. of a multiplicity building that blocks the sunlight from reaching the flower garden in Robinson Park. Arkham Asylum, November 13th. Add the second coming of Houdini to the list of Batman's tricks. I didn't think anyone could escape that steel drum, and even if they could, they couldn't survive swimming through that sludge. I guess that Batsuit is good for more than just making him look ridiculous. It says that my lovely plants were able to whack away at the structure, the Kanger building, and point to its unsound remain standing. The demolition is scheduled for the 1st of December, and then the flowers will garden will thrive once more. Bad news is that I was able to accomplish it myself because of Batman. He got out of the drum, got out of the toxic waste, and shoved me right into the middle of a glorious endeavor. I tried to escape, but that was when I was doing an oboe, but my pleas fell on deaf-pointed ears. He handed me over to the GCPD once I freed them from my vines. That is, in the scent, they sent me back to Arkham. I have a new doctor because Quinzel is still at large, calling herself Harley Quinzel, and she gads about with the Joker. Too bad, I always kind of liked her. Dr. Mordor thinks that Quinzel had the right idea in letting me tend the garden, though I think that's mostly because he doesn't want to deal with me. He's got his hands full with Crane, Enigma, and the others. Luckily for me, nobody noticed my new hybrids. Didn't need them last time, but they're the perfect means of escape this time. So what you would do is you would finish the book, and then you would write it up, and you'd have it yourself. So you could come up with your own story. Check it out. This is from Amazon, so check that out.